What's up everybody, this is Ergo Josh without the beard, and today, if you are wondering how the hell you're going to figure out how to get good at art, and you've studied a completely different major your whole entire time in college, or maybe you just pursued something else your entire adult life, this is the video for you because I'm going to give you 3 really good tips to make the most of your time while you're getting into art and make the most of what you've learned during the time you haven't been doing art so that you can learn faster. Now, this is going to be based actually from a podcast that I was invited to from some undergrads from Georgia Tech here in Atlanta, and we talked for 35 minutes on this topic. So I'm actually going to leave the link to that in the description. You get to hear me talk about my own past in a little bit more detail, and they share some incredibly great ideas as well. So I really recommend you check that out after this video. And yes, if you didn't know already, I did go to Georgia Tech for my undergraduate. I spent 4 years there studying architecture, and then I went ahead and worked in architecture for 2 years after that. The podcast is called The Pinup Podcast, and it will be on Spotify, and the link will be in the description box below the video. The last thing before we get into the meat of the video, I want to tell you what you're actually going to be looking at. It's not just going to be my face this time, sorry for that, but you're going to be watching me work on 2 figures in Procreate, and I tried to keep as much of what I actually did so that you can see me struggle and solve problems while I'm talking here. But the most important thing is that I use my own brush set called the Ergo Index brush set for this, and the new version 2.0 is out, so you can check that out at my Gumroad page, and the link will be in the description, in a pinned comment. It's going to be everywhere because I want you guys to check it out. It's really cool. So my first point is going to be to explore and learn different things. You want to learn who you are, what you like and what you don't like. If you're still in school, this can just mean to spend more time doing what interests you, and sometimes it's work, and sometimes it can just be like an internship. So for example, I had a internship opportunity in my last year of college, and it was my first internship opportunity, and we worked in a software called 3ds Max, and that's not typically for architecture. It's not typically used in architecture, but in ArcViz, which is just basically 3D art, 3D visuals, but to make buildings look really good, and they're usually pretty accurate down to the T for the materiality, especially when it comes to interiors. That got me a little bit into the 3D world, and it helped me understand some of the topics there. And now today I'm trying to learn Unreal to use as backgrounds for my paintings. Kind of a spoiler hint there. Hopefully I can do it. It seems a little bit challenging, but it's a lot easier for me because I have that background in 3D, even though it's several years ago. That can help me move a little bit faster. Now, both of the hosts for the podcast actually do spend a decent amount of time doing things outside of architecture that they're interested in, and one of them actually got a new camera because she's interested in photography. Now, the next tip is going to be to recognize your unique skills. This is going to be what helps you stand out faster. You want to think about what your unique experience is that's going to give you a unique viewpoint or an advantage, or just something that makes people connect with you a little bit easier that others don't have because of what you've done, where you've been, what you've seen. For me, working in architecture before getting into art myself, having that studio, having that professional corporate environment really helped me with the admin stuff that I have to do today to have the business running and everything, and to be able to communicate properly with sponsors and emails, and just to get used to this rigor and the type of lifestyle. Maybe you majored in business or marketing, and those things directly have influences that can help you a lot with supporting yourself in your own career in art. I actually have multiple friends that started in the STEM industry, computer science and technology and all of that stuff, and they are full-blown into art right now, and the level of rigor that they're used to helps them really adapt well to learning and improving today. As a matter of fact, they are able to overcome challenges particularly well because they're used to learning new things and having to overcome new things all the time. That is exactly what you're going to be doing if you're trying to improve your art skills. And I know one in particular, shout out to Kasem. I don't know if this is specifically helping him out a lot, but we both talk a lot about these different trends, and we talk about how we're going to use the social media that we have to our advantage, even though it's really difficult to stand out as an artist, and think about how can we take our skills and really craft an experience to give back to people and help give them value that's going to in turn give back to us. So it is really helpful to have that kind of really technical background if that's where you're coming from, regardless if you went to school for it or not. If you just were used to it because you were a manager of a team, that can help out a lot too. And one thing that's really special to my heart is that you may have an interesting experience as a marginalized artist from a marginalized community, and you might be part of the key to being able to tell stories that haven't been told in the proper way, because we need people from every single walk of life to be in every single part of the pipeline, all the way from the top at the sponsorship level, all the way down to the person who is just, you know, modeling the rocks that are going to be in the video game. I don't know, probably much lower places than that. But having somebody with a different, unique experience at every step of the way is how you get these stories told in a great way that impacts people, right? And so that might be your place, and only you can do it because you have that experience, and all you need is the art skills and the opportunity, and there you go. Now, the last thing is the most important, and it's going to be to try your best to eliminate scarcity mindset. This is going to help you from causing yourself a lot of self-sabotage. And I say try to because it's very hard to do. You can't just do it all at once, but it is a journey, but a very important one. Please do not approach jobs and internships in a place of desperation. You want to be constantly thinking, what can this do for me? What can I learn from this opportunity? What can they provide me that's going to be valuable for me to grow as a person? Maybe you don't even know what you want to do professionally yet. You just know that you want to get something out of it that you can use later, depending on whatever you do. As long as it's something that you know you haven't done yet and you can learn and see if you like it or not. And I know a lot of you really desperately want to just find a way to make money so that you can draw because it's the only thing you can do, but you've got to think bigger than that, right? I encourage you to have the wisdom to be able to think, well, I don't know something. I don't know things. I don't even know what I don't know that I might need to know. So focus on trying to find opportunities that can help you learn that. Find places to work or places to live that can facilitate that ability to learn and grow and learn what you like and don't like. I'll tell you one anecdote about me. I was terrified at getting a job when I was working in architecture school, and I knew that I didn't have any connections, or, you know, I didn't have barely any internships, just the one that was at the school that wasn't even really that specifically related to architecture. But later on down the line, I eventually did get a job. And while I was there, I was just super focused on, okay, I need to make sure I get my hours and do a good job here so that they hire me because it's a good paying job. They were the first people that offered me an acceptance letter. I need to go get take some more exams and get my degree so that I can become an official architect with that license. But I never thought about, what can I benefit from here? What can I do here? What can this firm give me? And I later on learned down the line that I have a huge passion for high-end residential architectural design that focuses on just having a natural, harmonious living experience over everything else. And I could have asked my higher ups to put me on jobs and put me in places on teams where I could learn about that stuff. I could have. There were multiple opportunities, but I never did. I didn't even think of asking because I was so focused and limited to thinking way down here. I could have been thinking way up here about what I could learn and benefit from. So I really want you guys to think that way, because it doesn't cost any money to do that. You just have to be able to be open to that idea, and then you'll see all of these opportunities come up that were completely blind to you before. So that is going to be it for me on this video. I hope this found you at a wholesome and healthy place and at the right time, and I will see you all in the next one. Take care, keep drawing, and stay positive. Peace.